Hey guys, it's Miss Burns again. Um, I hope you're all doing well. It's we've breezed through this second week. Um, Technically, this is Thursday's video, but you won't see it until Friday. It's Thursday evening right now. I was a little under the weather, so I decided to film it after I got some allergy meds. Don't worry, it's not coronavirus, but the pollen is literally killing me. No, so I decided to wait until my voice was a bit stronger. So here we go. Your assignment for today is in the inferences category on IXL. This particular lesson is to analyze poetry. I know a lot of you are scared about poetry or hate poetry or um, don't understand how that works. And some of you love poetry. I know that some of you do enjoy poetry. I love poetry. But I want you to think of it in terms of, because a lot of times it's, why don't they just say what they mean? Why don't they just say it? Well, I get that. But think of it in terms of like music. Very rarely do lyrics, good lyrics, just come out and say what the musician is trying to say. It's usually metaphor, um, comparing things to other things, or imagery, or all of those things that we've talked about. Songwriters use those things to evoke feelings, to evoke um, a picture in your mind of the story that they're trying to tell you through their lyrics. And even the music, the melody can paint a picture. So think of it that way, and think about your favorite songs and why you love them and what they say, how they speak to you. Okay? You will be using context clues, which we have used in almost every lesson we've ever done, right? Um, Remember all the literary devices that we've talked about. I've loaded a PDF along with this lesson on Classroom that it has every literary device that you would ever find in poetry ever. It's a very exhaustive list. A lot of those we won't get to, but I chose that list because it has, yes, those extras, but it also has anything that this lesson will ask you for. I'm going to read one of the examples, but it gives you the poem, and then there will be a bold section, and it will, like the one I'm going to read, I believe it's metaphor. Let me take a look. Yes, it'll say, the bold text is a metaphor, and it'll ask you what that metaphor means. So remember those devices, and if you get confused, you have that list of every, I mean, it is everything. It's things that we've never talked about, which is okay. But it'll tell you in the question what kind of device you're working with. So you can skip through on that form if you need a refresher and find that. As we know, metaphor is comparing two things. Simile, remember the difference, how we keep that separated. Simile compares two things using like or as, because remember the memory game I taught you guys? If two things are, if one thing is like another or as another, they are similar. So simile. Okay? So remember that. The PDF has it all. It has everything you would need. So do take a look at that if you need to. Some of you may remember all this, and that's awesome. Yay. But if you don't, there is a tool there for you to get some assistance. I am going to read this poem. Excuse me if I don't get the rhyme just right. And then I'll read the question and we'll talk about it. Okay? Perfect. Okay. It's called Small and Tall. The daisy uncurls her little leaves and stretches her petals open wide. She basks in the sunlight until she falls under the shadow of the sunflower. Every day the sunflower's owner comes out to measure, water, and weed. That man is always taking pictures, while the daisy wonders what good she is. Then the bees say to the daisy, your nectar is the purest gold. The ants say daisies are pretty for building their hilly homes around. With something of her own to offer, she reaches her petals toward the sky. The sunflower's shadow is just a nice way to find some shade in the middle of the day. Okay, so, and it says, review the bolded text in the third stanza. So, each stanza, I wonder if you can see this. No, it's just bright light. Okay, sorry. Okay, each stanza is separated. You've got 4 lines, then a blank line of space, then 4 lines. Those are the stanzas. So the third stanza down, the first 2 lines are in bold, and they are, then the bee says to the daisy, your nectar is the purest gold. Okay? So, as you read further, first we'll read the question. The bolded text shows a metaphor which compares 2 things without using like or as. Remember we talked about that? What is the purpose of this text? Okay. Then the bees say to the daisy, your nectar is the purest gold. So the stanza before that, we talk about how the sunflower's owner takes very good care of the sunflower. He measures it, he waters it, he weeds around it. And he takes pictures of it all the time. And so it makes the daisy wonder, what is she good for? Okay? So then the bees say your nectar is the purest gold. The ants say they're pretty and they like to build their homes around them. And then it says, with something of her own to offer. And that prompts her to reach her petals up and appreciate the sunflower. Because now the daisy feels like she has something to offer, right? So the question, we'll go over that first, then we'll talk a little more. So the question is, what is the purpose of, then the bees say to the daisy, your nectar is the purest gold. It says, it highlights that the bees prefer the sunflower's nectar. It hints that the daisy is worth more money than the sunflower. It emphasizes how highly the bees think of what the daisy has to offer. Now, it's easy to say, oh, well, they're talking about gold. Gold is valuable. This is about money. But we know that it's not, because there's nothing here about an exchange of money, right? And then they're talking about the daisy, not the sunflower. So the answer is, it emphasizes how highly the bees think of what the daisy has to offer. And like a lot of poems, this is a poem about 2 flowers and the bees and the ants around them all having personification, having feelings of inadequacy or feeling not good enough. And this is a metaphor, again, for how a lot of us feel when there's someone who seems better, more talented, smarter, prettier, more handsome, better at sports, better at life, all those things. But we all have something to offer. And the daisy finally, because the bees and the ants built her up. And so the daisy finally realizes that just because the sunflower casts shade, but casts shade on her, she still has value. So I hope that you all take that lesson to heart, because all of you have something to offer and something valid and wonderful about you. And I miss you guys very, very much. But go back to the PDF if you have any questions about what it's asking you for. You can reach out to me again, just like every day. My email is reading2gjcc@gmail.com. I almost forgot. That's crazy. I say it every day. You can reach me through Classroom. You can reach me in the comments on the video. Any of those ways you can reach me. So please do. I know that the recent news of our social distancing being extended is disappointing and frustrating. It's disappointing and frustrating for us too, but it is necessary, and your health and well-being are top priority. They share that information with you guys as soon as we have it. Please don't think that we'll ever keep you in the dark about any of that. So, we're very thankful for Miss Dunn for relaying all those messages and letting us know, letting you guys know. And we're very lucky to have the people that we have looking out for us. And I'm always looking out for you guys. So please remember that. Remember that I love you. Remember that I'm thinking about you and hoping for your safety and your well-being and your health. And enjoy this time to reflect. I hope you're all well. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, and it's Friday's coming. Yay! So, I'll go ahead and say make good choices, and then I'll reiterate that tomorrow, right? Thank you. Have a good night. Love you all.